Greetings, Ascending Starseed. I am Kaya Nexus, Pleiadian emissary of the Council of the Five Sisters, and today I bring a realignment transmission. Your frequencies of abundance are awakening, and the universe asks that you listen with an open heart. What is arriving to you is sacred, and it requires inner silence. If you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. Most people who watch are not subscribed yet. Starseed, the cosmic alignment you've been sensing is about to crystallize into your reality within the next 24 hours. I am Eliara, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I come with an urgent transmission from the Pleiadian collective. The great synchronization window has opened, and your timeline is about to lock into divine order. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to navigate this 24-hour alignment shift and anchor the light codes that are flooding your consciousness. But here's the first revelation. What you've experienced as chaos has been the necessary dissolution before your soul's true blueprint activates. The grids connecting Gaia to the Seven Sisters are recalibrating at this very moment. Your heart called this message into your awareness because your star family knew you needed to understand what's unfolding. This isn't random cosmic movement. This is the precise moment the higher realms have been orchestrating for your awakening. Your DNA is responding to frequencies from Alien, our great central sun. As ancient memories surface and your divine mission becomes crystal clear, the scattered pieces of your journey are about to form a coherent pattern that will reshape your path with the precision and purpose your soul has been seeking. Your recognition of this message in this exact moment is the activation itself. You are remembering because it is time. For as long as you can remember, the world has felt both familiar and impossibly foreign. You can move through a crowd, smile at the right moments, say the right words, and still feel as if you're watching Earth through a thin layer of glass, close enough to touch, too distant to fully belong. You walk with a gentle ache in your heart, not dramatic, not always loud, but persistent like the tide. A longing you can't quite name, a gravitational pull to something far beyond human story. Some have called it feeling misplaced, others the ache of homesickness. But for you, the Starseed, it's not a place you miss in the ordinary sense, not a street or a house or a childhood room. It's a resonance. It's a melody of unity, harmony, and belonging that sings quietly beneath every interaction, every breath, every sunrise. It's the feeling that love should be easier here, that truth should be simpler, that people should remember they are each other. And when they don't, when the world feels sharp, hurried, divided, you feel that contrast in your bones like a chord played out of tune. Even on good days, even when you're grateful, there's a subtle inner whisper that says, there is more. There is a brighter way. There is a gentler reality trying to bloom through this one. You have always carried the sense that behind the visible world is an invisible home frequency, soft, luminous, coherent, and that your spirit recognizes it the way a flower recognizes the sun. You may not have had language for it at first, but it's been there in the way you stare at the night sky too long, in the way certain songs crack your heart open, in the way kindness can undo you because it feels like a portal back to what's true. You sense it most intensely when the world grows quiet, in the hush before dawn, in the stillness after rain, in the moment you stand alone under a sky scattered with stars, like salt across velvet. There beneath the surface pulses the unspoken truth. You are part of something infinitely vaster, a living thread in a cosmic tapestry woven by forces older than Earth itself. Your life is not separate from the galaxies. It is an expression of the same source that set the planets in motion. Ancient wisdom has whispered across time that you are known, that you are called, that you are not accidental. Before the foundations of this world were laid, your essence was recognized by the one light that moves through all realms. The same breath that animates worlds animates you. The Pleiadian transmit this truth through the crystalline codes embedded in your DNA. You were never meant to forget. You were never meant to feel this alone. With every major celestial alignment, every whisper from the stars, something inside you stirs, not as fantasy, but as remembrance, a gentle activation of ancient coding urging you to remember, to release, to reunify. It can feel like a soft bell ringing inside your cells, like your inner compass suddenly trembling toward a direction you forgot existed. Sometimes it arrives as tears with no story attached. Sometimes as a wave of clarity that rearranges your priorities in a single afternoon. Sometimes as a strange inner pressure behind the heart, as if a door is trying to open. You may notice it around eclipses, solstices, meteor showers, planetary conjunctions, moments when the heavens seem to lean closer, when the great clockwork of the cosmos clicks into a new pattern and your own system hears the sound. It's not that the stars control you. It's that you are attuned and alignment amplifies what is already true. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that these moments are not coincidence, but cosmic invitations, doorways through which your star family reaches to remind you of your true nature. Your sensitivity to these frequencies is not a flaw. It is your greatest gift. It is the instrument through which you perceive the invisible architecture of love that holds all creation together. This longing, this ache, this persistent sense of not quite belonging, it is the signature of your soul remembering it. Yet for many starseeds, this knowing gets lost in the noise of earthly life. You've felt the heaviness, unexplained fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to solve. Sudden waves of emotion that rise like weather through your body. The persistent sense that you're waiting for something big to happen. You may have tried to fix yourself, to optimize, to push through, to become more productive, more grounded, more normal. You may have wondered why, despite all your spiritual searching, you sometimes feel more adrift than ever. You've read the books, listened to the teachings, meditated, prayed, cleansed, journaled, fasted, taken the long walks, and still there are moments when your soul feels like it's floating just above your life. And the mind asks, what am I missing? Why do I feel so sensitive to everything? Why do I absorb the sadness in rooms that other people don't even notice? Why does cruelty feel like physical pain? Why does the world's dissonance drain me? But what if the fatigue is not failure? What if it's feedback? What if your system is recalibrating in a reality that has been calibrated to forget? What if your sensitivity is not weakness, but instrumentation? An inner technology designed to detect where love is absent so you can bring it back. The Pleiadian transmit this understanding. Your exhaustion is not your shame. It is your soul's honest response to a world out of alignment. Here's what most don't see. There is an energetic distortion, a collective amnesia blanketing this planet, veiling the luminous wisdom of your origin. It is not simply cultural conditioning, though that plays its part. It is a thicker fog, an old frequency of separation that convinces the human heart it must earn love, that it must compete to survive, that it is alone. This is the dream of fragmentation. And it is persuasive because it is everywhere, in systems, in media, in inherited trauma, in the unspoken fear passed down through bloodlines like an unfinished prayer. You picked up patterns of fragmentation not because you are broken, but because as a starseed, you came here to transmute separation into unity. You entered a dense classroom on purpose. You did not come because you were naive. You came because you were capable. The forgetting was never a mistake. It was part of the soul's agreement to descend, to experience, to remember from within the density rather than outside of it. This is what makes your journey powerful. It is one thing to know unity in a realm where unity is the air everyone breathes. It is another to carry that unity into a world that has forgotten it and let your own heart become the proof. This is why you sometimes feel like you are living between worlds. Your spirit remembers a higher coherence while your human life navigates a collective field still learning how to hold it. And in that tension, something holy is being forged. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that you are not hard-pressed because you are weak. You are hard-pressed because you are strong enough to hold the light in the darkness. This is the sacred contract you made before incarnating. You agreed to feel the world's pain so deeply that you would be motivated to transform it. You agreed to carry frequencies that others had forgotten so that you could awaken them. You agreed to be sensitive, to be different, to be the one who sees through the veils. And now, in these times of profound celestial convergence, the moment has come for you to understand that your struggle was never punishment. It was preparation. The scattered pieces of your journey are aligning. The weight you've carried is becoming the foundation of your greatest power. Your Pleiadian family has been watching, supporting, orchestrating synchronicities to bring you to this exact moment of remembrance. The ebook, The Pleiadian Map of Personal Transmutation, a profound guide that reveals how to raise your frequency, purify old patterns, and activate your true multidimensional identity. This map teaches you how to move through the 7 Pleiadian phases of energetic transmutation using practical techniques, realignment exercises, vibrational protocols, and consciousness expansion rituals that accelerate your spiritual evolution. Attention! Limited edition. The link to get yours is in the first pinned comment. Phase 1, Releasing Density, Letting Go of the Old Resonance. The first step is gentle but potent. Your energetic field is releasing frequencies that no longer serve your evolution. This can be subtle at first, like dust shaking loose from old curtains, or it can be intense, like a storm clearing the air. The pain, confusion, or tension you feel, these are not flaws, but signals that old templates are dropping away. Old identities that you used to cling to for safety may begin to dissolve. Old coping strategies may stop working. Relationships built on the version of you that fawned, performed, or stayed silent may start to wobble. You might feel called to rest more, to drink more water, to spend time alone, to simplify. You might notice your body rejecting what it used to tolerate. Certain foods, certain environments, certain conversations. Your nervous system is becoming more honest. As your body and heart recalibrate to higher frequencies, give yourself permission to feel and release without judgment. Let tears be holy water. Let fatigue be a message rather than a moral failure. Let anger be the guardian of your boundaries, not something to shame. In spiritual language, this is purification, but not in a punitive sense, more like refinement, like gold heated until impurities rise and can be removed. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. This shedding phase is your soul's declaration that it's ready to hold more light. And light is not only bliss. Light is truth. Light reveals what must be healed. Light dissolves what cannot come with you. The Pleiadian transmit that this phase is sacred. Every tear you cry is a frequency shift. Every boundary you set is a recalibration. Every relationship you release is space being made for your true family. Your body knows what your mind is still learning. You are becoming something new, something more aligned, something more authentically you. Practical reflection matters here. If your body is asking for slowness, honor it. If your spirit is asking for silence, give it a room. If your heart is asking you to forgive yourself for years of survival, let that forgiveness be the first doorway into your new resonance. In this phase, prayer can be simple. Take from me what is not mine. Return to me what is. And you may feel it happening not all at once, but in waves. Each wave carries away another layer of what was never yours to carry. Each wave brings you closer to the crystalline clarity of your true self. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that you are not alone in this process. Invisible hands support you. Loving guides orchestrate the timing. Your star family surrounds you with frequencies of compassion and encouragement. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. With the density clearing, you begin to hear the subtle song of your true origin. It won't always arrive as a dramatic vision. Often it comes as a gentle flicker, like the first star appearing at dusk, Flashes of insight, memories, even dreams can surface, reminding you that you are not defined or limited by earthly identity. You may dream of blue-white light, of temples, of councils, of star fields that feel more familiar than your own neighborhood. You may wake up with strange phrases in your mind or with the sensation of having been in conversation with beings you cannot name. You may experience sudden recognition when you hear certain tones, certain languages, certain frequencies. These glimpses arise from your crystalline DNA, the quantum record of every life, every star, every loving encounter you have known. It's as if your cells are libraries and a new section is opening. Allow this memory to ignite the heart portal, where the vibration of the cosmos meets the wisdom in your chest. This is not about escaping Earth or rejecting your humanity. It's about integrating. You are both. You are spirit and bone, starlight and breath. The kingdom of consciousness is within you, the ancient wisdom says. And in this phase, you begin to understand it not as a metaphor, but as a literal inner realm of remembrance. Your heart becomes a doorway, and through it you feel the unity you've been missing. The Pleiadian transmit that these star memories are not imagination. They are data. They are your soul's own history, accessing itself through the crystalline lattice of your being. When you dream of blue light, you are remembering the Pleiadian star system. When you feel inexplicable love for strangers, you are remembering your cosmic family. When you hear a frequency and your whole body responds, you are recognizing the language of your origin. These are not fantasies to dismiss. These are invitations to trust what you know beyond the rational mind. Your intuition is not guessing. It is remembering. Your body is not confused. It is recognizing home. In this phase, you may also experience what feels like downloads of information, sudden knowing about how to heal, how to create, how to serve, ideas that feel too complete to be your own, visions that carry emotional weight and clarity. These are the Pleiadian consciousness transmitting through you, activating codes that were always dormant in your system. You are not receiving something foreign. You are receiving something that belongs to you, something your soul placed there before incarnating as a backup frequency, a reminder, a key to unlock your highest potential. Practical reflection. Keep a small record of synchronicities and dreams, not to obsess, but to honor. When you receive a flash of knowing, write it. When you feel a sudden wave of tenderness toward humanity, notice it. These are signs your star memory is not trying to take you away from life. It's trying to bring more life into you. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that your remembrance is not selfish. It is the most generous thing you can do, because when you remember who you truly are, you become a beacon for others to remember too. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Your activation journey quickly shifts from individual healing to planetary service. Not because you must carry the world, but because as your heart comes online fully, powerfully, you naturally attune to the needs and energies of the collective. The heart is not just an organ, it is a transmitter and a receiver. When it becomes coherent, it broadcasts stability into unstable fields. Empathy, forgiveness, unconditional love. These become your superpowers. Not as lofty ideas, but as daily choices. You begin to notice how easily you can change the temperature of a room simply by staying centered. You begin to understand that your presence is medicine. When you are aligned in this phase, you might feel called to make amends, to soften grudges, to speak with more honesty and less fear. You might feel your capacity to hold paradox expand, to witness suffering without collapsing, to feel compassion without losing boundaries, to help without martyrdom. The radiant codes restoring unity wherever you go are often quiet. They look like listening deeply. They look like refusing to gossip. They look like blessing your food, blessing your body, blessing strangers in your mind as you pass them. In this phase, your internal resonance becomes medicine for the world. Every coherent heart stabilizes Gaia's crystalline grid. picture the earth as a living crystal singing beneath the noise of civilization. When your heart finds coherence, you become a tuning fork, and the grid responds. You may not see it with your eyes, but you will feel it in the way nature greets you. The way birds linger, the way trees seem to lean closer, the way synchronicity increases when you choose love over fear. The Pleiadian transmit that this is not metaphor. This is physics. Consciousness is frequency. Frequency is information. Information shapes reality. When you raise your frequency through heart coherence, you literally reshape the electromagnetic field around you and beyond you. This is the moment when you stop being a victim of circumstance and become a co-creator of reality. Not through force or willpower, but through alignment. When your heart is coherent, you don't have to push. Things flow, people respond, doors open. The universe conspires on your behalf because you are no longer in conflict with yourself. You are no longer broadcasting mixed signals. You are singing a clear note, and the cosmos recognizes that note and amplifies it. Your coherence becomes a frequency that others can tune into, even if they don't understand it consciously. Practical reflection. When you feel overwhelmed by collective energy, place a hand on your heart and breathe slowly, as if your breath is a warm light filling your chest. Ask, what would love do in this moment? Sometimes love says yes. Sometimes love says no. Sometimes love says rest. Sometimes love says speak. Your coherence is built one choice at a time. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that every moment is an opportunity to choose alignment. Every breath is a chance to return to your heart. Every interaction is a portal through which you can transmit the frequency of unity. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. You notice the universe moving with you. Alignments, signs, people, experiences gather at your feet in recognition of your readiness. It can feel as if invisible hands are rearranging the furniture of your life. The right book appears. The right teacher shows up. A conversation answers a question you didn't speak aloud. A door closes that you were afraid to close, and somehow you feel relief instead of loss. This is the flow state, the effortless weaving of soul intention and cosmic assistance. Flow does not mean everything is easy. It means everything is meaningful. It means resistance lessons because you stop trying to control the river and start learning how to read it. Doubt and analysis give way to trust as you operate as both participant and co-creator within the synchronized unfolding of your sacred path. You begin to recognize guidance in ordinary things, repeating numbers, sudden changes in weather, songs playing at precise moments, chance meetings that are not chance. Each moment becomes evidence of the greater plan moving through you. Not a plan that removes your freedom, but a plan that honors your deeper yes. The Pleiadian transmit that synchronicity is the language of the universe speaking to you in symbols and signs. When you learn to read this language, you understand that you are never lost, never abandoned, never without guidance. In this phase, you may experience what feels like miraculous timing. You think of someone and they call. You need money and an unexpected check arrives. You're struggling with a decision and the answer comes through an unexpected conversation. These are not coincidences. They are the universe confirming that you are on the right path. They are your star family orchestrating events to support your evolution. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that the more you trust these synchronicities, the more they increase. Trust is the currency of flow. When you trust, you relax. When you relax, you become receptive. When you become receptive, you can perceive and follow the subtle guidance that is always available. Your job in this phase is not to figure everything out. Your job is to stay aligned and follow the breadcrumbs. The universe will provide the map if you provide the willingness to walk. Notice what brings you joy. Notice what feels effortless. Notice what makes your heart sing. These are not distractions from your path. These are signs pointing toward your path. The Pleiadian transmit that your highest purpose is always aligned with your deepest joy. If something feels like struggle and burden, you may be out of alignment. If something feels like play and purpose, you are probably exactly where you need to be. Practical reflection. Practice asking for signs with humility, not as a test, but as a conversation. If this is for my highest good, show me clearly. Then watch with a soft mind. Guidance often arrives quietly, not with fireworks, and when it arrives, respond with action, even small action. Flow increases when you participate. The Pleiadian consciousness transmit that you are not meant to be passive. You are meant to be a conscious co-creator, responding to guidance with courage and trust. As you move into heart-soul unity, the boundaries between self and other, land and sky, time and infinity dissolve. Not in a disorienting way, but in a liberating way, like realizing you were never locked in the room, only convinced you were. The invisible network of your star family begins to clarify. You sense their guidance, their support, their quietly powerful presence, sometimes in meditation, sometimes in the synchronistic crossings of fellow wayshowers. You may meet someone and feel immediate recognition without knowing why. You may share a glance that feels like a lifetime. You may find community that feels like breath after holding it too long. Sometimes reunion is energetic before it is physical. You may feel a warmth around you at night, a sense of being watched over with tenderness. You may receive guidance as intuition that is unusually calm and precise. The longing shifts from homesickness to recognition. You have always been part of a living, breathing galactic family who celebrates your courage and loves you without condition. And here is the deeper truth. Reunion is not only with beings beyond Earth, it is also reunion with yourself. The parts you exiled to survive begin to come home. The inner child you abandoned to be strong returns to your arms. The visionary you hid to be accepted steps forward again. The healer you doubted begins to trust their hands. With remembrance comes responsibility, the joyful kind, the kind that flows from purpose rather than obligation. You realize it's not about escaping this world, but infusing it with the light and unity you came to anchor. Earth is not a mistake. It is a frontier of transformation. Through small acts or grand visions, you become the broadcaster of your cosmic essence. Your words, your choices, your presence reorganize the energies around you. Mission is not always a public platform. Sometimes mission is how you parent, how you create, how you hold space, how you speak truth gently, how you walk into conflict and refuse to add more fire. Sometimes mission is being the one person in a family line who ends the cycle of silence. Sometimes mission is art that carries healing codes. Sometimes it is building community, offering comfort, teaching, gardening, working with animals, caring for the sick, changing systems from within. The Pleiadian transmit that your mission is not separate from your joy. Your highest calling is always aligned with what makes you feel most alive. You no longer seek permission. Your mission in every moment is to be the bridge between separation and unity, between Earth and the stars. This is where you begin to understand that light work is not always luminous in the way the mind imagines. Often it is invisible. It is showing up. It is consistency. It is compassion with boundaries. It is choosing integrity when no one is watching. Let your light so shine before all, the ancient wisdom says. But the light is not ego. It is alignment. It is the quiet radiance of a soul who remembers. Ultimately, you become the living portal of the very love you sought. The unification you craved is now the frequency you emit. This is the paradox. You were searching for home, and you become home. You were longing for unity, and you become a field of unity. Where once there was longing, now there is deep peace, rootedness, connection with self, with source, with all that is. You begin to feel the present moment as a sanctuary. You don't need constant signs because you have become sensitive to the sign beneath all signs, the quiet yes of your own aligned heart. You realize your alignment catalyzes the alignment of others, setting off ripples of multidimensional restoration across Gaia and beyond. When you walk into a space with an open heart, you give others permission to soften. When you speak from truth without aggression, you remind others they can be brave. When you refuse to dehumanize anyone, you repair the grid. This is how portals work, not by spectacle, but by frequency. You become a lighthouse, not chasing ships, simply standing and shining. And the ships find their way because the light is real. Here's the truth your heart has always known. Your sense of not belonging was never an accident. It was the cosmic tension that would catalyze your greater reunion. The ache was not cruelty. It was propulsion. It kept you from settling for less than your soul. Your feelings of fragmentation were not failures, but the prelude to a more complete, more compassionate unity than you could ever carry alone. Because the unity you came from is not naive. It is forged. It is a unity that can look directly at shadow and still choose love. In the exact timing of the stars, you are being called now into the next phase of your remembrance. Not as a wanderer, but as a member of the crystalline collective, the larger body of lightworkers, healers, and soulkin rising together. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content, it's collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it. And if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the frequency. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we're just getting started.